Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Story Mode, and probably the conclusion of the Werlyt Trial series. Just a little bit more of this side story to go. One more big fight to be ready for it. One more big fight to be ready to do. The sentence has not worked out. You get it though. Let's read some reports. What's new here? This one. All right, we got two new ones. Name, the Emerald Weapon. War Machina developed by the 7th Imperial Legion as a successor to the Ultima weapon. The third reported instance of the synthetic Orsight system being employed in battle. Combat data from Gaius van Baelsar, former legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion, was used as a basis for its attack parameters. Our analysis concludes that any data collected after Van Baelsar commenced his invasion of Eorzea was lost following his defeat at the Praetorium. Therefore, the data used in the Emerald Weapon must have been gathered in the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity. His gunblade techniques and tactics involving multiple soldiers bearing ranged weapons were incorporated in the War Machina's armaments, in particular the floating manipulators that could be positioned at various locations around the battlefield. The Emerald Weapon is believed to have been transported from the Imperial base in Turncliffe to Castrum Marinum, where it underwent final adjustments. It was then finally destroyed in an operation spearheaded by Dermot Derami. That is how it went down, isn't it? Name, Rex, pilot of the Emerald Weapon. All other information regarding the subject was gained via verbal testimony of Gaius Baelsar. This former civilian of Werlyt was orphaned at a young age when an epidemic killed his parents. He was later fostered by Gaius and raised alongside several others in an Imperial orphanage. He was known for being extroverted and outgoing, and his lack of restraint often made him the center of attention. However, this was accompanied by an explosive temper, and he would often confront those he believed were threatening his foster siblings, with little regard for rank or social status. He later joined the Weapon Project in order to support his foster brother Alphonse. His final mission was to pilot the Emerald Weapon, which ended with him becoming fused with its core and perishing shortly after. Estimated age at time of death, 18 years old. And I believe that's all the new ones. So, what have you got for me? The Resistance troops wish to help their newfound allies in Turncliffe. Oh, Derman, I was hoping I might have a word with you. Ever since Turncliffe was liberated, we've been sending troops to aid in getting the town back on its feet, helping the residents, that sort of thing. We Alamegans know how hard life can be for a society struggling to stand on its own after years of Imperial rule. A lot of what most people would take for granted has to be rebuilt from the ground up. While we are able to assist when it comes to providing basic resources and keeping the place safe, there are countless other problems that need attending to. If you can spare the time, we could use your help. Certainly. Bless you, Derman. You really are a saint. I'm sure the people at Turncliffe will benefit from having someone like you around. Once you're ready, have a word with your usual escort. I wish you all the best. Thank you. I could use all the best. I'm ready for a trip to Turncliffe, please. Wherever you are. There you are. You're the guy. So, the boss roped you into helping, did he? I knew you couldn't say no. It's true. It's gotten to be something of a problem for me. I don't suppose y'all have new things. Nope, this is the same as last time. You, despondent civilian. I'm here to chat. You're the one who piloted that War Machina and defeated the Sapphire Weapon, aren't you? Yeah, I thought so. I've heard much about you, but I doubt you know who I am. My name is Avelina, and I grew up here. When I saw 16, I was put to work as a Magitech engineer. Thanks to you and yours, we're now rid of the Imperials, though I fear many of us will struggle to put the past behind us. For decades, we suffered at their hands. Generations of young people were forced into the army and sent off to die in some distant land. I suppose I could be considered one of the lucky few. My work here kept me away from the battlefield, and I hoped that my contributions might help the others live long enough to make their way home. In the end, most of them never returned. Though my efforts were in vain, I can at least honor their memory. I want to leave something behind for their sake, to prove that they haven't been forgotten. A monument bearing their names. To ensure that not a single person is omitted, I'd need to see the official list of conscripts. If one still exists, it would be inside the Imperial facility beneath the town. But with the Resistance troops and Ironworks engineers closing the place off, I can't get near it. Perhaps you might have a word with them for me? I'll leave as soon as I find the list. Leave it to me. Thank you. I'll follow your lead. Okie dokie. Let's see. You, burly engineer. And I don't just say this to butter you up. I need a favor. Something I can help you with? I see. Well, it's a bit unusual for one of the locals to show an interest in the Imperial's leavings, but it seems she has her reasons. Since we're still carrying out our investigations, we've closed the place off to prevent anyone interfering. Considering it's you who's asking, though, I can hardly say no. Still, I'd better go with her, in case the others kick up a fuss. You're very kind. Oh, good. That was easy. So, how'd it go? I'm sorry for any trouble I've caused. You have my thanks. Think nothing of it. I was glad to help. As I'd suspected, the Imperials kept detailed records of the local conscripts. One name in particular stood out to me. My friend, Melisandre. I had no idea she'd been assigned to the 7th Legion of all places. I want answers to both of these questions. But I suppose I'm more interested in this one. How did you know her? It all began while we were serving together in the 14th Legion. We had much in common, both being drafted from the same occupied territory, and we soon became firm friends. Then, one day, she was sent to fight in Eorzea while I remained here. The day before she left, she came to say goodbye, together with her foster siblings from the orphanage. The youngest one, Rickon, was particularly upset about not being allowed to speak with their adoptive father, Gaius van Baelsar, before they departed. It was actually another of his orphans, Livia Sus Junius, who forbid him from seeing him. I cannot say for certain, but it seemed that Livia had a strong attachment to Gaius and wouldn't let anyone else near him. As far as I could tell, he tried his best to keep Livia at arm's length whenever possible, but her devotion to him was bordering on obsession, and she became extremely jealous at the slightest sign of affection between him and his other wards. Others, however, treated them far more kindly. In fact, a Praefectus Castrorum of the 14th Legion came specifically to meet them. While I was surprised that Arugadine had risen to such a rank, I was even more taken aback by the unguarded manner in which he spoke with his subordinates. I'd hoped that with people like him serving on the Eorzean front, they would be in safe hands. Then the time came for Melisandre to leave. We shared a few final words, and then she was gone. It would be the last I ever saw of her. After that, I was assigned to the Tribunus Lataclavius of the 14th, Nero Tolskeva, and I worked on restoring the Ultima weapon. I was even at the Praetorium on the day it was destroyed, but I escaped aboard an Imperial ship moments before it came crashing down. I eventually made my way back to Werlyt, only to be drafted into the 7th Legion to continue working on the weapon project. Even now, it makes me sick to my stomach to think I'd helped bring those abominations into the world. Using a living pilot to feed the weapon's core was part of the design from the very beginning. Of course, they'd never dream of subjecting a true-born Garlean to such barbaric treatment. Not when the 7th Legion has a ready supply of provincial conscripts ripe for the taking. The pilots were referred to only by their code names, and we engineers were not made privy to their true identities. Even with this list of conscripts, I still don't know who was sacrificed in the name of the weapon project. Let's see about bringing an end to this weapon project together. But what can I do? For years, all I've known is how to build tools of destruction. The 7th Legion's far from finished. They're biding their time, waiting until the right moment to unleash the final weapon. And when they do, It'll bring naught but death and woe to all who stand in their way. Even after everything they've taken from us, they still want more. If it weren't for the Empire, Melisandre would still be here. She was the kindest person I ever met, but to the Empire, she was just another pawn in their games. I'll never forget her. There's a way I can make a difference. I know there is. But first, I need to speak with members of the Ironworks. I have a feeling that war machina you used to beat the Sapphire weapon will be called into action again. Until then, there's still time to make improvements, and I intend to help. I'll still be going ahead with the plan to build a monument, but stopping the Empire must come first. I hope Melisandre and the others can wait a little longer. Before I go, allow me to express my gratitude. I don't know what I'd have done if it weren't for you. Until we meet again. She seems nice. Well, good. Speak with the Resistance officer at... Oh, okay. Boy, they're just bouncing us back and forth. Okay, I am back. So, how was your time in Turncliffe? Brief. I see. Fate has dealt her a cruel hand, but now she has a chance to make a fresh start. The same could be said of the whole of Turncliffe. It seems the liberation of that one small town will become a pivotal moment in Werlyt's history. Perhaps it won't be too long before the rest of the region's free from the Empire. Naturally, we'd be honored to fight alongside the people of Werlyt. We won't rest until the Imperials are set fleeing with their tails between their legs. Until that day arrives, we'll carry on doing our bit to support you and the others in ending the weapon project. I'll be sure to pass on any pertinent information. In the meantime, take care. Much appreciated. This must have been one of the little quests they added in sort of like the in-between patches, maybe. Like they'd have a patch come out where the whole like emerald weapon part of the story happened, and then another patch without like another fight, but maybe just this little quest to kind of like keep the quest chain alive in the meantime. And then the next patch, another it doesn't matter, whatever. I'm ready is the point. The Resistance troops have received intriguing information from Werlyt. I wasn't expecting to see you here, considering all that's been happening about Eorzea of late. Still, if you've a mind to assist us, we'd like to share the latest developments in Werlyt. And as luck would have it, here comes the ideal person to explain the situation. Thanks. I'll take it from here. You guys have got to announce yourselves a little better. Oh, hi. I'm glad to see you looking so well, Derman. It's been a while. Ha. They gave us an opportunity to get her name wrong. Or say, have we met? But it's not been that long, Derman, goodness. I'm Inago. It certainly has been. I haven't seen you around Rogger's Reach much lately. Anyone would think you're trying to avoid me. But as much as I'd love to stand around chatting, I'm afraid I've got some serious business to discuss. Following the liberation of Turncliffe, it seems the people of Werlyt also have their hearts set on freeing themselves from the grip of the Empire. Like-minded citizens have rallied under the banner of the Werlyt Revolutionaries, and they aim to depose the 7th Legion that currently occupies the city. Their ranks include many former conscripts, and between them, they possess no small amount of combat experience. The only thing they lack is someone to lead them. After much consideration, they decided to turn to none other than Gaius Baelsar. Of course, many would balk at the thought of turning to a former enemy, and many did, but desperate times call for desperate measures. His reputation as a legatus speaks for itself, and as most Alamegans will attest, he was a far more reasonable and pragmatic leader than his predecessor, the Mad King Theodoric, or his successor Xenos for that matter. But most importantly, he was the one who led the invasion of Werlyt in the first place, so who better than him to take it back? After accepting their offer, he requested the delivery of additional arms and provisions from the Alamegan resistance. We got our hands full dealing with the Telophoroi, as do the rest of our allies in Eorzea, but we'll do what we can. While my comrades see to the preparations, I've been assigned to meet with him in person. I was wondering, would you accompany me to Turncliffe? You bet. Thanks, Derman. To be perfectly honest, coming face-to-face with the Black Wolf is a rather daunting prospect, even if he has supposedly turned over a new leaf. But I'm sure having you there will make a world of difference. I bet you're right. I believe you're acquainted with our escort, yes? Let him know when you're ready to get going. You bet. I'll do that, and I am ready to get going. Quite ready. Honestly, didn't expect to be coming right back here after getting going 5 minutes ago. But I have it in me to prepare to get going once more. For the cause. Another trip to Turncliffe, is it? I know, I'm surprised too. Here we are. Oh, all gathered. Great. Hey, revolutionaries. It's been a long time coming, but finally, Werlyt will throw off the shackles of Imperial rule. Love to see it. Many of my comrades were dead against having Gaius Balsar of all people lead the charge. But, as I always say, if you want a job done properly, hire a professional. After all, he's already conquered Werlyt once. I'm certain he'll be just as successful a second time. It makes a kind of sense. Ah, Gaius Balsar, I presume? I come bearing the Alamegan Resistance's official reply to your request for aid. I see. You have my thanks. Does this mean we can finally make our move? With the assistance of the Alamegans, we'll soon have sufficient arms at our disposal to stand a chance at victory. But lest we forget, the 7th Legion has been conserving its strength thus far, and we must be prepared for severe casualties should its full might be brought to bear. If our lives must be the price of freedom, we'll pay it willingly. I like their armor style. It's kind of like Evolution armor adjacent, but not quite, which sort of makes sense because I think they are geographically not too far from each other. It's a neat touch. Let me be clear. We Alamegans have not forgotten that it was you who led the invasion of our homeland. The blood of our fallen loved ones is on your hands. Even so, the people of Werlyt chose you to lead the revolution, and we'll honor their decision. I only hope they'll not come to regret it. As do I. Should I be found unworthy of their trust, I shall submit to their judgment and whatever that may entail. Forgive me, but might we return to the task at hand? First, I'd like to discuss the transportation of supplies from Alamigo. This way, if you please. Once again, I prepared to lead an army into Werlyt. The irony's not lost on me. It is a cruel twist of fate that these people, so desperate from years of oppression, should turn to their conqueror for salvation. For most of my life, I believed that only the Empire possessed the strength and wisdom to lead mankind. That only through great sacrifice could civilization hope to thrive. And so, I led the conquest of Eorzea, forcing the doctrine of Garlemald upon the ignorant and uncivilized. In every territory, I sought out those with potential for greatness, without regard for one's birth or circumstances, that they may serve the Empire. But there are those such as Valens, who see being born Garlean a virtue in itself, one above all others. To think that a monster such as him should be granted the position of legatus and everything that entails, it makes my blood boil. Valens brings shame upon our homeland, and makes mock of the ideals it once stood for. By my hand, he shall pay for his foul crimes. We're running out of time, Gaius. We have to go after her. There's something I would show you, but not here. Come with me. Okay. Color me intrigued. Why are we being so cryptic exactly? It's a pretty nice view out here. Why did Allie have to keep all this a secret? We could have helped her. Hey, you want to clue me in? You must keep this to yourself. I do not want the soldiers to think I'm being distracted by personal matters. This letter was found in her room. Dear Father, I am sorry for leaving without saying goodbye, but the thought of Alphonse suffering alone is more than I can bear. For his sake, and for the freedom of Werlyt, I have decided to take matters into my own hands. I know of a way to save them, a way to end it all. I have to seize this chance before it's too late. My mind is set. Please, do not try to stop me, Father. The days we spent together were the happiest of my life, and no matter what happens, nothing can take that away from me. With all my love, Allie. She is heading for the 7th Legion's stronghold in Werlyt. I'm certain of it. Taking matters into her own hands. She must be planning to take control of one of the weapons. If so, there's no time to waste. We have to mobilize our forces and save Allie and Alphonse. I want nothing more than to save them, but I cannot ask the Werlyt revolutionaries to risk their lives to rescue 2 Imperial soldiers. In any case, if we were to rush into battle without adequate preparation, the 7th Legion would tear our partisan army to shreds. And, as capable a warrior as Durman is, if he were to charge headlong into the heart of the enemy, he'd be overwhelmed by sheer numbers. But if we don't do something, Allie and Alphonse are as good as dead. I know, Severa. And so did Allie when she wrote that letter. Returning alive was never part of her plan. Oh. Can you hear me? I'm in Werlyt, just outside Castrum Collinum. All hells have broken loose. There was an enormous explosion, and through the smoke and the flames, I saw what appeared to be another weapon. At this rate, the entire army will be... Confound it. We've lost the signal. This must be what Allie spoke of in her letter. A way to end it all. Alphonse and the others were planning this from the beginning. To bring the weapon project to completion and use it to free Werlyt from the Empire, even at the cost of their own lives. If the revolutionaries were to hear that a weapon's been unleashed upon the Imperial headquarters, they would see it as the perfect opportunity to strike. If it's running amok, it may not distinguish between our allies and the Imperials. A large force would draw too much attention, but the 3 of us should be able to get close enough without it noticing us. Come on. Between us, we'll find a way to save them. I cannot allow it. This is my burden to bear, and I shall bear it alone. Rest assured, I have every intention of making it out alive. And I'll have you know, my record for surviving dangerous missions is pretty impeccable so far. I have an incredible track record on that front. Well, you know, you've seen it firsthand. Very well. For the time being, I'll have the revolutionaries stand by and await my signal. An opportunity to reclaim Werlyt may yet present itself, but we must first be allowed to remove the threat of this new weapon. Severa, have Sid ready the G-Warrior. Understood. Once your preparations are complete, let us reconvene outside the hangar. Okie dokie. Just as well, it's getting very dark out here. Speaking of dark, sometime earlier, in the 7th Legion's Werlyt headquarters... How wonderful it is to see you again, my dear. I was beginning to think that you weren't coming back. In my impatience, I may have vented my frustrations on that brother of yours. I do hope you'll forgive me. Lord Valens, you mentioned before that the previous weapons were merely prototypes used to gather combat data within their cores. Yes, very good. I see that you were paying attention after all. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. The primals they absorbed and the data they accumulated will serve a singular purpose. The completion of my masterpiece, the diamond weapon. But while you and your siblings were able to retrieve the necessary data from the ruby weapon before Gaius and his lackeys arrived, Sapphire and Emerald were handed to the enemy on a silver platter. Those worthless curs failed to meet even my exceedingly low expectations. As detailed in my report, I took it upon myself to infiltrate Gaius Baelsar's band of rebels and reclaim the data. Yes, you've done well, my dear. My engineers have already finished feeding it to the diamond weapon. Then all that remains is for me to assume my role as its pilot, and for you to release my brother and the rest of our compatriots, as per our agreement. Of course, of course. A handful of savages is a small price to pay for your remarkable talents. Even though the weapon project's revolutionary technology allows even an untrained pilot to fight with the skills of a veteran soldier, only the truly gifted can draw out the full potential of the synthetic orosite. In addition to their physical attributes and combat prowess, I require unwavering loyalty before I can even consider entrusting a candidate with one of my creations, and you are everything I desire. I'm honored that you regard me so highly, Lord Valens. However, in return for my continued cooperation, I wish to propose an extra condition to our arrangement. I request that the people of Werlyt be given full imperial citizenship and the right to self-govern. My, how very bold of you, and quite astute at that. Yes, I could grant the people of Werlyt citizenship if I so desired. Unfortunately, a mere legatus such as myself is in no position to simply relinquish control of imperial territory on a whim. Come now, we both know that the weapons are but a means to an end. Your true intent is to march on the capital and claim it for yourself, correct? Once you've taken the throne, one small territory would seem a fair reward for those who've played a vital role in the ascension of Emperor Valens. I say, for someone so sweet and innocent, you certainly drive a hard bargain. Very well, if it's Werlyt you want, it's yours. I'll soon have no need for this stinking backwater province anyway. And what about my brother? Oh yes, Alwick. Or was it Alfred? Whatever his name is, you needn't worry. I've made special arrangements for him. He'll be perfectly safe, provided you uphold your side of the agreement. Excellent! Now, let's get you aboard the diamond weapon, shall we? One step closer to my coronation. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I know this isn't what Father would have wanted, but it's the only way. Please forgive me. And there she blows. Initiating the synthetic orosite system. All sensors activated. So far, so good. Diamond weapon, codenamed Xenos. Commencing activation sequence. Behold, perfection itself. Melisandre, Rickon, and Rex gave their lives, that others may live without fear. The Overside's taking hold. I'm just glad that you didn't have to go through with this, Alphonse. But you'll have to go on without me. You and Father still must work together to... I'm sorry I can't be there at your side. This is the only way. What's that, my dear? Is something the matter? The diamond weapon is mine. Your tyranny ends here, Valens. Low-born filth! If you think your little performance had me fooled, you are sorely mistaken. What are you waiting for? Shut it down! Yes, my lord. Transmitting deactivation signal. It's not responding. That insolent whelp had me worried for a moment. Bring her to me alive, even if it means damaging the machine. When I'm through with her, she will beg for death. No, I can't let it end like this. Melisandre, Rickon, Rex, guide my hand. Alphonse, wherever you are, lend me your strength. Combat sample ready. Initiating overmind. Subject name. Overmind? What is that? This can't be. It's ignoring the shutdown signal and initiating overmind. But how? I don't care how! Stop that thing before it brings down the whole castrum! Oh dear. Damn it, maybe we should stop daydreaming and go do something. Gaius! I'm ready to go. I was unable to save Melisandre, Rickon, and Rex, but there may yet be hope for Ali and Alphonse. Dwindling by the moment. Gaius, let's go. Ready to depart? I'll send for Master Garland. We all expected another weapon to appear sooner or later, but not quite like this. According to Valdolin, after it finished laying waste to the headquarters of the 7th Legion, it took to the sky. Though this has dealt a massive blow to the Imperial forces, I'm certain that Ali's on board the weapon. It must be halted before she comes to harm, and for that, I need the G-Warrior and airships to transport it. I see that one thing hasn't changed since your days as the Black Wolf. Your penchant for gigantic war machina. But if this means the G-Warrior has another chance to shine, I'd be happy to oblige. Only this time, rather than having it unceremoniously towed by airships, I have a more dynamic entrance in mind. Oh, hello again. It's good to see you again, Dermot. Likewise. From what I hear, we have you to thank for Avelina volunteering to help the Ironworks. Since she joined the team, our work has come on leaps and bounds. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to finally put my knowledge and skills to good use. And as far as I can tell, your target's the diamond weapon, the most powerful of them all. What's worse, its design incorporates all of the combat data and abilities of the other weapons, making it far more formidable than those you encountered before. Thankfully, we've had time to prepare for such an occasion. Have you? You've had a half hour! Boy, you're good. Would you care to elaborate? Let me put it like this. Thanks to Avelina's tireless dedication, the G-Warrior has been reborn. But there will be time to explain more on the way. Come on, the Enterprise is waiting. Haven't flown on this thing in a little bit. Gracious. Excessive, Sid. Very impressive. But may I ask what purpose it serves? Since our objective's to rescue the pilot, we've added a means of capturing the diamond weapon. We come to save lives, not to end them, and for that reason, the G-Warrior has been reborn. I present to you the G-Savior. You're loving this, Sid. You absolute nerd. You're off to save Melisandre's foster siblings, Alphonse and Allie, aren't you? Please, do whatever you can to bring them back safely. You betcha. While you and Gaius deal with the diamond weapon, I'll be doing my best to aid Valdelin's safe return from Werlyt. Hopefully he's taken advantage of the chaos to make good his escape. Yeah, I hope so. Good job, Sid. I'll be monitoring the situation from the Enterprise. Should things take a turn for the worse, I'll be ready to intervene. Okay, buddy. Once again, Sid and his engineers have provided precisely what we require before we even knew it ourselves. He's really good at that. Due to the added complexity, we'll have Gaius pilot while Derman handles the various armaments. Agreed. There will be little opportunity for us to grow accustomed to our roles, but even so, we must succeed at all costs. Ain't that always the way? Well, the final battle of this little series is upon us, then. Right, same as before. It seems the controls are the same as the previous iteration. Though it has been some time since I last piloted a war machina of Allegan origin, lack of practice is no excuse for failure. I'm sure you'll do fine, and hopefully I will as well. Let me rally a crew for the big fight. Okay, the gang is all here and ready for the big fight. Let me read the description first, as usual. Let me find the description first. An important first step. Here we go. Okay. The Cloud Deck. Intelligence from Werlyt indicates that a previously unknown weapon is laying waste to the 7th Imperial Legion's headquarters. Though it seems improbable that the War Machina could turn against its creators, a letter left by Allie reveals her intention to commandeer the weapon and to rescue her brother Alphonse from the Imperials. Together with Gaius and Sid, you formulate a strategy not to destroy, but to capture the rampaging machine before any harm can come to its pilot. Well, we're going to do our best. In we go! It's time for a sky fight. Target in sight. Pin it down with a salvo of missiles. Threat detected. Returning fire. When Jesse finds out how much Sid has been spending on this side project, he's going to be in enormous trouble. All right. And here we go. Goodness. I love this tradition. What a good bunch of folks. Let's do introductions, though. Tanking today, actual tanking today, will be Cafe. Looking good as well. Some really fun cosplay and portraits going on here, as you can now see. Again, healing today will be Lionel. Solo healing, in fact. Ooh. A unique crew composition. This will be fun. Let's see. Damage dealers, extra damage dealers today, will be Adamant Dahlia. Fordola. Oh, hey. Nice of you to join us for the fight. Zephleos. Chaotic Carry. Good name and pretty darn good Aerith cosplay as well. And Yukime. Don't punch us. We're on the same team. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining me today. This is going to be a good time. Who can reach that? My arms are too short. I'm ready for the fight, though. Let's do this darn thing. Let's go. I won't let you harm my sister. So, for this fight, I am actually going to have to, not actually tank, but I am going to have to mind my positioning as the off-tank. Wait, that's not Ali. No, it can't be. Time for my next trick. G-Savior Mark II, opening containment field. Use the teleporter to move between decks. Yes, so our arena, I'll get back to talking about my tanking responsibilities later. Our arena is split into two here. Accessing Ruby weapon data. Deploying claws. Melisandria, grant me your strength. Okay, so for this move, whenever we see those rockets popping up on one arm, we're gonna wanna move over to the other side. Because the boss is gonna do that big swipe that could just out and out kill you. And you don't want that. Oh, doing it on this side now. Okay. Switch over. We're going to be using these teleporters to bounce back and forth throughout the battle. And I'm going to stand over here because of these beams that I'm now getting hit with. The basic attacks this boss does hit both tanks, whether they're, like, currently the main tank or not. And those beams can hit anyone, so we need to kind of position ourselves away from the rest of the group. So we're the only ones taking the hurt. Okay, so both tanks, including me, have now been hit with these little markers that hurt anyone near to us. The closer they are to us, the more it hurts. So I stayed over here and went to this corner. The other tank warped over there briefly. Accessing Sapphire weapon data. Opening chest armor. I won't let you down, Recon. Okay, stack up. Nice of the boss to do countdowns for all these moves. Give us plenty of time. All right, move back over here. This was never going to be easy. Let's see what you make of this. Purging armor. Diamond weapon. Show them what you're made of. Now we are entering a new phase of the fight. I have to keep fighting until my dream, our dream, has been realized. The weapon done changed form. The true face of Diamond weapon. Nope, knockback circle. Position carefully. Yipes! Ha, that's cool. I didn't know you could position on the side of it. in order to get warped over to the other side. That's fun.
The Mark II's in need of repair. Fall back.
Oh, yeah, I'd say so. Okay, just one platform for now. That's fine. We'll manage. We'll just make use of the small space we got.
Raising Magitech field. There's no escape.
Okay, the boss is about to dash across the floor where we saw all of those little red streaks. This is the one little safe spot. We're all just gonna hide here until it's done throwing its tantrum. There it is. Okay. Hit it. Oh, where are you going? Oh, okay. It's about to dash across the floor and then warp right on back to land in the circle. So we don't want to be in either of those places. We're all doing very well, though. All of us still alive, none of us falling off the platform. It's such an easy fight to fall off the platform in. Or to not be alive in. Oop, knockback. Yapes. Okay. Such a mean arena to have knockbacks in. Oh. Okay, looks like this is going to be our safe spot for this little round of dashes. There we go. You're doing well, everyone.
This raid will overheat. Restoring armor. Today we fight as one.
All right. Phase change again. Boss is back to its original form.
Don't worry, Ellie. I'll keep you safe.
I'm gonna stay over here just in case. Those beams are gonna start coming at us again. I think they are.
Sorry to keep you waiting. The repairs to the Mark II should keep it airborne for now. So it can enhance its agility, but only for a short while. We'd best pin it down while we still can.
Yeah, there's the lasers. Boop. I'm being targeted with a little chase marker, so I missed the I went for the marker and not the teleporter. Anyway, well, that'll still hopefully help. Anyway, so with those chase markers, they're gonna set off a whole bunch of little circle AoEs on us. I'm gonna wait for the raise until after this little slash is done. There we go, okay. With those chase markers, we're gonna be chased by several AoEs that land in succession, so the idea is to, there we go. The idea is to let them start going off and then teleport across so that most of the AoEs fall kind of in the dead zone in between where no one will get hurt. But you do have to step on the teleporter and not the air beside the teleporter. That's an important part of teleporting. Oop, we need to teleport. Over here. Other than that one little slip-up, though, we're all doing pretty well. Or at least they are. That's the important thing. They're the ones doing all the damage. Oh, okay. Someone needs to be standing in each one of these little soak circles, just to prevent that little orb from landing somewhere. What hurts? Whoop. Stack up. We're wearing it down.
Accessing Emerald weapon data. Deploying beam units. This is for you, Rex.
Okay, all right. For these, we're just all gonna get targeted with these little circle AoE. And we just need to spread them out. The classic.
Our dream cannot end here. The containment field won't hold.
There's the victory. Good job, everyone. Thank you very much for helping. You all did lovely. What a good bunch. Thank you to all of the Dantalis folk who have been making time to join me for all of these fights, all these different raids and group activities. It's very, very much appreciated. It's made recording all this a lot easier. Not that the group activities are quite over. Also, we got some story to get back to, so let's go ahead and get back to that. And here we are. So, how are we feeling? We must reach the diamond weapon before the Imperials. In all the years since the invasion, this place has hardly changed. I was expecting to find some sign of the 7th Legion here, but it would appear the diamond weapon has already taken them out of the equation. I pray we're not too late. Ali! Please, take her back to Turncliffe. I have some unfinished business to attend to. Now to learn what has become of Alphonse. If you have a score to settle, now is your chance. Show yourself. Come to gloat, have you guys? It's not over yet. You certainly have an instinct for self-preservation. I'd expect nothing less from the coward who sacrificed his own soldiers to further his ambitions. How dare you speak to me of ambitions? You are the one who stood in my way at every turn. If not for your meddling, the Empire would have been mine. Mine! Enough of your delusions of grandeur. Where is Alphonse? Why, he's right in front of you. What? Once you hear the answer, you'll kick yourself for not realizing it sooner. You see, in all of the previous models, the combat data was either incomplete or unstable in some way, making their performance in battle wildly unpredictable. But then an idea struck me. Rather than using data gathered in battle, I should use something a little more realistic. It turns out that beloved boy of yours was quite brilliant. When he put his mind to it. By my ingenuity, he's been reborn as the core of the greatest machine ever devised. None but the great Lord Valens Van Varo could conceive such a marvel. To think that Ali came here to steal the diamond weapon to save her brother, only to find he'd already become a part of it. Perhaps it wasn't the reunion she'd envisioned, but I'm sure she was grateful nonetheless. Oh, that might also explain why Overmind activated all by itself. It was clearly an attempt to protect his precious sister. A fascinating anomaly, but I can't stand disobedience. That such atrocities should continue unabated is proof of the rot that has spread throughout the Empire. Your crimes are an affront not only to Garlemald, but to all of mankind. And now, you will die. Have you forgotten, Gaius? I've seen your data. I know your every move. Such pitiful swordsmanship is a relic of the past, just like you. Terminus est. Croque amors! But this wasn't in my data.
Reactivating synthetic orocyte system.
This can't be. How is it still functional?
Removing memory inhibitors.
What? You? Stop this at once. Please, let me go. Albert, no, Alphonse, wait, no, no. Even the names of those sacrificed in your twisted experiments are beneath your notice. You are beyond redemption. Who are you to judge me, Gaius? Do you remember the names of the tens of thousands of men, women, and children killed for the sake of your conquests? I do not deny the blood spilled at my behest, nor will I run from my past. That is why I fight, to prevent the wrongs I committed from being repeated. No. Stop. I beg you. You can't do this to me. I'm Valens Van Varo. Better than Gaius. Better than all of them. I can't end this way. Alphonse. Alphonse, my son, I have failed you. But this is not the end. I will see your dreams fulfilled. This I swear. I ask only that you, Melisandre, Rickon, and Rex watch over me.
Father, the memories stored in the diamond weapon. Give them to Ellie. Watch over her in my stead. Father, I cannot go on like this. Please.
I understand. Thank you. I'm proud to call myself your son. Oh, we're here. Hello. It's been some time since we last heard from Gaius. I see. We will remain here until further notice. That was Gaius. Valens Van Varo and the Weapon Project are no more. Seizing the opportunity, the Werlyt revolutionaries have taken control of the city. Though they still suffered considerable losses, they have at last gained their freedom. And even with the Empire gone, for people like me, life under Imperial rule is all we've ever known. We might never be able to heal the scars left by decades of oppression. While there is hope for those who have survived this ordeal, nothing can bring back the dead. The loss of my wife and daughter left a void in me that can never be filled. In the years since, I've struggled to find a purpose, a reason to keep on living. It is the same for Gaius. No matter how hard he tries to make amends, the children he lost are gone forever. Bit of a bummer note to be ending on for a victory, but it's how it goes sometimes. I can see how heavily the burden weighs on him, just as it does on me. In truth, it never gets any lighter. We can only hope to grow strong enough to bear it. Severa is concerned for Ali's well-being, aren't we all? The recent events in Werlyt have had a profound impact on the lives of many, many people, but none more so than Ali. She's been in a state of shock ever since she returned. We even called in Sid to see if he can ascertain what the problem might be. You see, there's a strong possibility that the diamond weapon itself is what's causing Allie to close herself off like this. But for the time being, all we can do is wait. There is one other thing. Avelina came by looking for you earlier, so perhaps you could go and see her? Oh, sure. Gives me something to do while we wait. Avelina! Ah, there you are. It's quite a nice view. Thank you for coming to meet me. I'm glad to see you're none the worse for your experiences. Actually, I've been meaning to show you this. Thanks to the Alamegan resistance, the monument to the fallen is complete. Though they may no longer be with us, we'll never forget them. This way, they'll always be a part of Turncliffe, and future generations will be reminded of the sacrifices that were made. You were always so kind to me, and now it's my turn to do the same for others. Avelina is absorbed in prayer. Now would be a good time to return to Severa. Good idea, text box. Let's not intrude on the moment. Severa! I'm done checking in and intruding on moments. Can you give me something else to do while we wait? Already heard that one, okay. I hope all is well with Avelina. Actually, while you were speaking with her, I received word that Gaius will be here soon. Oh, good. Then I shall also stand here morosely and await the arrival of Gaius. Love fitting in with the cool kids. I wish to see Allie. Would you send for her? Allie. Does she even recognize me? At first we thought the weapon's influence had caused this, but it seems there's more to it than that. The chirurgeons say that this is most likely the result of intense trauma. Her mind has been scarred, perhaps irrevocably. She boarded the diamond weapon with the intention of saving her brother. Little did she know that Valens had used the synthetic orosite system to transform Alphonse into a living component of the machine. Then, when she boarded the diamond weapon, she finally learned the horrible truth. I've never heard of anything so cruel. Just a moment. In each of the previous cases, pilots became fused with the weapon's core. So how was Allie able to escape a similar fate? That's one of the many things we're still looking into. There's no need. I already know the answer. It was Alphonse who kept her safe. In the end, I was unable to save your brother, my son. All they wanted was a place to call home, where they could live in peace. But after all the pain and hardship they endured, this is their reward? No, this is not the end of their story. I taught them the strong must lead the weak, but absolute power corrupts absolutely, and those who've suffered at the hands of the corrupt are beyond counting. Alphonse dreamed of a land without oppressors and the oppressed, where all may live as equals. Thanks to his sacrifice and that of his siblings, the cornerstones of such a nation have been laid. Melisandre, Rickon, Rex, Alphonse, and Ali. They risked everything to win the freedom of Werlyt. And now it has come to pass. I will see that their ideals are upheld. This I swear, as their father. The long and arduous process of rebuilding Werlyt has begun. In the days to follow, I shall be working alongside the new government to create a place that people like Ali and Severa would be proud to call home. For so long, all that kept me alive was hate. But the time has come to cast it aside. I'm going with you. I'll only regret it if I don't. And while nothing I do can bring back the ones I've lost, I owe it to them to make the most of the life I've been given. Times change. People change. And it's just as well. We inventors would soon find ourselves out of work if everything stayed the same. If you've a need for my creations, just say the word. You know, Gaius, I could fill a book with all the things I've been meaning to say to you over the years, but what would be the point? What's done is done. There is one thing, though. If anyone can get through to Ali, it's you. She looks up to you the same way I did as a boy. Don't give up on her. Good advice. Bye, Sid, by the way. Just pieces out without a word. Even this aspect, this sort of waking comatose state Ali is in, also very Final Fantasy VII-esque. Come to think of it. Aside from like the weapons themselves, a lot of the 7 parallels are much more subtle this time around, it kind of feels like, but I like it. I would not have made it this far without my constant companions, Valdolin and Severa. In fact, I believe she has a few words to share with you. In a minute. One at a time. It's taken me a long time. Too long. But I finally found a reason to live for the present. For the future. Good for you. For all my life, I've been searching for my place in the world. Everywhere I went, I was always on the outside looking in. But I've realized if we can't find one, we just have to make it ourselves. That's what I learned from Gaius' children. Despite everything, they never gave up, and neither will I. For now, at least, my place is at Gaius' side. I'll follow him and see where this journey leads. And before I leave, I want to tell you how grateful I am that you chose to stand by us until the end. I hope we'll meet again one day. I'd like that. Y'all seem cool. All this time, I've been trying to convince myself that Gaius was every bit the villain I'd imagined him to be. The ruthless subjugator of nations. Evil made flesh. Well, I mean, my experience of him in A Realm Reborn was also very cardboard cutout, bad guy villain. So I understand how you could get that first impression. You're not alone in this. And while many who fight under the banner of Garlemald are all that and worse, I realize now that Gaius was driven by his own notions of right and wrong, misguided as they were. Since then, he's turned his back on the Empire and its hateful doctrine. His guilt and anguish only strengthen his resolve. The day I spared his life, he was given a second chance to set right the wrongs he'd committed, to become the man his children believed him to be. I was a father once, a husband. In many ways, I still am. And even though they're no longer with me, I want to be someone they would be proud of. Now, I too have been given a chance to make a difference in a land far from home. I'll never forget my past, but neither will I be beholden to it. When I meet the people of Werlyt, I'll be sure to tell the tale of your bravery and compassion. May it grant them the strength to face the struggles ahead. Pray, go in peace, my friend. I'm gonna, thank you. Though we were brought together under strange circumstances, Valdolin, Severa, and I will continue to work together, at least for the foreseeable future. Well, here they are. And who might these charming young men be? They were found in the 7th Legion's headquarters, in one of the few areas that escaped unscathed following the Diamond Weapons rampage. Perhaps that was Alphonse's intention. Do not be afraid. We mean you no harm. That thing on your forehead. My name is Gaius Baelsar, and like Valens van Varo, I was once a legatus of the Garlean Empire. Though I believed I was fighting for a just cause, my conquests came at a terrible cost. Pray, forgive me. I do not mean to scare you. If you would lend me your ears, I have a story to tell. A group of courageous young men and women, not so different from yourselves, stood up to protect their people from the tyranny of the Empire. They fought with everything they had, and finally, victory was theirs. But it came at a terrible price. As their father, I still struggle to come to terms with their sacrifice. And yet, they have entrusted the future to me, and I'll stop at nothing to see their dreams fulfilled. Even so, there's only so much one soldier can achieve by himself. I'd be honored to have your support in the days to come. At ease, lads. He's not as scary as he looks. And if he steps out of line, he'll have me to answer to. Though they were fortunate enough to escape the destruction of the castrum, they may have been injured while fleeing. Have the Chirurgeons look over them, and find a place for them to stay. And get them in bed, it's late. It seems the time has come for us to go our separate ways once more. I myself can scarcely believe that we were once bitter adversaries, but my encounters with you have led me to question the very ideals I swore to uphold. What is strength? What is weakness? If those who grasp the reins of power are said to be the strong, then those who lack such power must, therefore, be the weak. For better or worse, however, we are far more complex creatures than that. I see now that true strength is not granted by others, but resides within us. Strength of character, of spirit, of resolve. Therein lies the power to cast off the shackles of oppression, to overcome any adversity, to stand firm in the face of impossible odds. That is the strength you possess. May it never leave you. It seems I'll have to summon all the resolve I can muster if I'm to keep my promise to Alphonse. The process of establishing the independent governance of Werlyt is underway, and I'll do all in my power to see it become everything my children dreamed of and more. For the immediate future, we shall continue to work closely with the Alamegan Resistance, whose role in the revolution cannot be understated. That reminds me, if you're passing by Porta Praetoria, the soldiers stationed there wish to hear your version of events. Okie dokie. Please give them my regards. I hope that when our paths cross again, I'll have glad tidings to share with you. Until next we meet. Okay. Toodles. Ah, and here we are. Well, it's been a pretty long one. Let's go deliver our report. Maybe let's hurry. It's a bit of a long run. Hey, guy. Job's done. Welcome back, Derman. Congratulations on another hard-earned victory. Ever since we first heard the news, I've been dying to hear exactly how it all unfolded. So, what can you tell me of this diamond weapon? Well, it was big. By Rogger's beard. Even for the Empire, that must be a new low. Those poor orphans. I can only pray that the citizens of Werlyt are able to enjoy the freedom that Gaius's wards gave their lives for. At the very least, we need no longer live in fear of the monstrous creations birthed by the weapon project. I shall add your account to our official report. Finally, on behalf of the Alamegan Resistance, and the whole of Eorzea for that matter, allow me to express my heartfelt gratitude. Thank you. You betcha. It's about all I do around here.
Father, the memories stored in the diamond weapon. Give them to Ellie. What?
projections from within the synthetic orosite. These are his memories. Their memories. I don't want to live in a world without you. That's why I'm going with you. No, not yet, Ellie. Now's not your time. Father still needs you. Please take care of him in our place. And if you're worried about Alphonse, don't be. He's got us for company. We want you to see this new world for yourself. We will forever be at your side, Allie. I'm the only one left. But I'll never be alone. Father. And thus concludes this little Werlyt side story thing. I hope you've enjoyed. I guess we should actually have a look at the report things that got added in. Kind of our last chance too. Let's see. Which ones are new? I think just... I can't remember if we read the Alphonse one. Sorry. Recording all of this patch stuff has been scattered across many months based on how I've had to record it, so it's sometimes hard to remember things that literally happened in the same episode, but that I recorded weeks ago. Anyway. Name, Alphonse. The following regarding the subject was gained via verbal testimony of Gaius Balsar, a civilian of Werlyt whose parents died in an epidemic. He and several other children were later taken into the care of Gaius. As the most senior of his group of orphans, he took his role as their older brother very seriously. His only known blood relative, his younger sister Allie, was among them. Gaius had instilled in him the belief that all within the Empire must be treated fairly, regardless of race or background. Following his foster father's disappearance, Alphonse sought to protect the victims of prejudice, such as that faced by his compatriots. In an attempt to prise Werlyt free from the Empire's grasp, he planned to claim the diamond weapon for himself. However, it was his sister Allie who was chosen as its pilot. Alphonse was instead fused with the weapon's core. The process was irreversible, and he's considered to have perished. Estimated age at time of death, 21 years old. Then there is Allie. Name, Allie, pilot of the diamond weapon. All other information regarding the subject was gained via verbal testimony of Gaius Baelsar. Born in Werlyt and fostered by Gaius after her parents were killed in an epidemic. Ever since first entering the orphanage, she was extremely withdrawn and averse to any sort of confrontation. She clung constantly to Alphonse, her older brother by birth. When he and several other orphans attempted to win the freedom of their compatriots at the cost of their own lives, they did not include Allie in their plans. After learning the truth, she tried to rescue Alphonse by taking control of the diamond weapon. Once she was inside the cockpit, she discovered that Alphonse had been fused with its core, and that he was beyond salvation. She has yet to recover from the trauma she suffered that day. Allie is currently undergoing treatment in Turncliffe at the orders of Gaius. She's been awarded the Medal of Independence by the new government of Werlyt. Age at time of incidents described, 16 years old. And finally, Valens van Varo. Former legatus of the 7th Imperial Legion. The following account was gained via verbal testimony of a Magitech engineer held in custody. A pure-blooded Garlean raised in the capital, Valens was trained as an engineer at the Magitech Academy. After graduation, he instead pursued a career in the military. His insightful deployment of Magitech weaponry and unflinching use of tactics deemed reprehensible by his peers brought him success on the battlefield, and he quickly moved through the ranks. When the time came to select a new legatus for the 14th Legion, Valens was rejected in favor of Gaius van Baelsar. A one-sided rivalry developed between the two, little to Gaius's knowledge. Whatever Gaius sought to achieve, Valens would choose opposing methods as a matter of course. The notable exception to this was his desire to continue the Ultima weapon project, once helmed by Gaius, possibly in a bid to surpass his nemesis. Though his level of technical expertise is without question, his eagerness to employ inhumane methods is viewed with contempt by even his fellow Imperials. Having analyzed the Empire's data on the Heart of Sabik and similar artifacts, Valens developed the synthetic Orosite system. It was designed to fuse the pilot with the machine's core during battle in order to enhance its abilities, killing the subject in the process. The system was perfected with the completion of the diamond weapon, in which a living soldier was integrated with the core prior to activation. Valens's plan to use this technology to seize the Imperial throne was eventually undone by the self-same pilots that he had selected to take part in the weapon project, along with his arch-rival Gaius. Age at time of death, 56 years old. And that, I believe, is all of them. Well, there we go. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little side story. Next time, we'll get on to other stories. Main stories? Other side stories? Who knows? I do, you don't. You'll find out soon, though. Take care until then anyway. Goodbye.